Okay, so in this lesson what we're going to do is modify the fireball class so that the fireballs are aware of pickup items. Not just the mana potion, but any pickup item that you may decide to later add in to the game. And we're also going to tell the fireball how it needs to react. So basically, actually before I even talk about that, let's just see what happens now when a fireball runs over a potion. So let's just run the game real quick and jump in here. And let's kill this guy, let's kill this guy, just so it's easier to deal with only one guy. Now let me tell you what I'm going to do. My mana level is down to 6. I'm going to shoot this mana right here, okay? And here we go. Notice it has disappeared, and when I run over it, watch me go up to 6 points. Or to 10, excuse me, we'll add 6. Here we go. Bink, it's just jumped up. Also, it's going to respawn now, too. And there it goes, it respawned. So everything worked great, but now let me shoot this guy right here and not run over it, and you'll notice that this potion will never respawn. That's because the potion thinks it's still visible and thinks it's still there. It's because that fireball, when that fireball ran over it, what happened was basically the fireball sprite was told to draw and it eliminated the other sprite that was there. It did an erase first before it did an update on the next frame. So, or the next location or cell that the fireball was going to. And we're going to need to correct that. Not only that, but what I want to have happen when the fireball hits a potion is it's going to stop our fireball. Okay? Kind of makes sense. The fireball just kind of explodes on it. But I also want it to kill that mana potion. But I want the mana potion to be smart enough to know that it is now going into a respawn. I'm just kind of running around and around right now. Basically, it's going to go into a respawn cycle, and that it will respawn just as soon as the time is up, so that the potion's not been destroyed permanently. Okay, so boom, just ran over it. So it's 12. Now watch, it's going to spawn back here just a few seconds. There it is. Okay, so let's take a look at how we can implement this. It's actually very, very simple. All I need to do is come into the fireball.cpp file, and if you remember in the fireball's idle update, all we're doing in here is simply looping through all of our enemies. So here is the NPC list. So we're looping through the list of enemies and checking to see if we've got a collision going on, and if so, we're going to do some killing of enemies, and we're going to kill the fireball. Now, I also need to loop through the list of game items. Only makes sense. Make sure that what I've just run over, is it a key, a mana potion, whatever. So let's go ahead and just copy this, and we'll do it simply right after the 1-4. So we could simply say up here, just to make it a little bit easier to follow, loop through enemies like such, and then down here, loop through game items like such. So of course I need to change the list I'm looking through right here to game items like such, and over here game items. So loop through from start to finish, and let's go ahead and just finish blocking in our for statement. Now for a big old if statement, we need to basically find out where each item is that's stored in that list, and find out if that item is where we, the fireball, is currently at. So to do this, I'm just going to come in here and say if, and I'm going to typecast this to an int, because as everybody knows, we're dealing with the float x and the float y, so they're float values, and this could be very, very small values, and that's going to kind of get in the way. I want to go ahead and cast this as an int just so it simply truncates everything. So we don't have a he's at cell location 6.522 by 3.811 or whatever, because that way they'll never be equal. Well, most likely never be equal. So anyways, let's go ahead and say int. Let's typecast this, or not typecast, I'm talking about the pointer to the iter. And let's go ahead and get this items that we're pulling out of the loop. Let's go ahead and call on his get x, like such. And if that is equal to, let's typecast again to an int, the current position.x, and, okay, and we're going to do this again. So, again, typecast to an int, our iter, and we're going to this time around, of course, get y is equal to, so if this guy is equal to, and again, one final typecast to an int, pos.y, like such. So if this is the case, what are we going to do? Well, let's go ahead and block in our if real quick and jump on in here. Well, we're going to do the following. Basically, we need to say if, all right, now this is going to get kind of deep. Pick up pointer iter. So I need to, all right, so I'm on somebody, okay? Well, I need to find out if this guy is visible or not. So I need to use the get visible status, like such. And if you guys remember, get visible status was something that was set up inside of our pickup class. So if it returns a true, that it is visible, well, what are we going to do? Well, we are going to come back in here. Let's go ahead and do the following, and I'll block this in real quick. And same thing again, except a little bit smaller. So pickup pointer, so casting to a pickup pointer, or to pick up our iter. And let's go ahead and basically tell it to, okay, so he is visible, fireball's on top of it, we need to make him disappear, so we're just going to simply say set spawn time, and if you guys remember, we've been using 50 for the mana potion, so set spawn time to 50, and then I want to make sure that add lives -1, just so that we kill the fireball. So in fact, we could say kill the fireball, like such. Now, it's real simple what's going on here. We're just looping through every single item, every single game item that is in the level. And if the fireball and that game item are found to be at the exact same place, we're going to check to see if that game item is visible. Now, we could get a little bit more fancy here, and we can find out exactly what game item it is. Perhaps if it's a key, we just simply allow the key to go right over it, and then we redraw the item. In our case, as I've been saying throughout all this bonus content, we're keeping this very simple. It could obviously be a whole lot more flexible, but this is going to work just fine. So basically, is the potion visible? If it's not visible, then it's already been hit, or a character's already stepped on it, or whatever. And we don't need to do anything. The fireball is just going to do its little thing. Otherwise, because basically it's just going to fall down through the rest of the if right here. It won't hit the else, and that'll be the end of the function. But if it is visible, then what we need to do is we need to go ahead and set its spawn time to 50. And remember, inside set spawn time, it sets it to invisible. So it sets its visibility to false. And then we just need to simply make the fireball die. So this is all we need to do. Let's go ahead and compile this, make sure I haven't created any errors, which of course, leave it to me, I have. So let's find out what exactly I've left off. I'm just kind of looking through. Well, let's just find out who's griping at what. So I've left off one. I'm hunting. Give me 1 second. Oh, you know what? Makes me wonder. Pickup. Let's go back up to the top. And yep. Let's make sure that we include pickup.h. You know, it's kind of important. Otherwise, it's just not going to know what pickup is. So let's go ahead and compile this one more time. And much better that time around. Now let's go ahead and execute this. And let's see what happens now when a fireball strikes some potion. So new game. This one looks like a good one to work from. So come on over, guys. Anyone? Well, let's go ahead and just shoot this guy real quick. See if he responds on his own. So it's been about 5 seconds, and hey, look at that. It respawned on its own. So if I fire... Now, look at that. That one fired through, so we should have respawn, then respawn. So the second fireball actually should have gone right through that. Look at that. And it respawned just fine, just fine. So one last test. Fire. Oops, I better get some mana to fire. That's pretty awesome. All right, so we'll lead this guy down into a trap. And good enough. So I'm going to fire. Now I'm at 10 all the way to the end. Notice it did not go up to 16. So it is literally gone. That's most excellent. Okay, so this is exactly how we want the mana potions to respond when a fireball collides with them. Basically, if the mana potion is visible and waiting for the character to pick it up, the fireball will destroy temporarily the mana potion, and of course the fireball will destroy itself as well. And with that, that is going to wrap up this lesson. Thanks a lot.